Hi, all my fish hobbyists out there. This is Tim Baxter once again with another video to explain and break down the whole process of having a tank this large and what it takes to actually maintain or to have the equipment to run your tank every day. So if you would look at my first video, Big Fish Tank Dreams, I kind of explained to all beginners in the fish tank hobby that this is not a tank that you would just off the bat jump into. Takes a lot of planning, a lot of I would say time and patience to put everything up and set everything up like you would want to. First of all, definitely got to think about the space required to have a large tank like this, and also knowing that going into this tank that you're going to have to overcompensate for a lot of things due to, like I say, aeration, filtration, circulation, obviously fish food, decorations, you name it. And anything that can definitely save you money in the long run and running this tank every day. But once you get it running and set up, you definitely would have something that's a timeless piece, something that you can enjoy for years and decades. And having a self pride knowing that you basically set up and started this large fish tank idea by yourself. So I just want to get right into it. Some of the equipment I want to get into, because I'm a firm believer in you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for equipment. It doesn't have to be the biggest and best brand name out there to run your fish tanks. And point taken, Amazon.com is going to be your biggest help in buying equipment for fish tanks in general. But definitely when you're talking about multiple and overcompensating for equipment in a large tank, it's going to be your best friend, okay, as far as price wise. Let's get right into some of the things that I'm definitely talking about when I'm talking about overcompensating. First thing I want to get into is heating, which definitely with a large body of water, you have to keep a large body of water. Definitely you want to keep your water evenly heated. So I have two 300 watts heaters and a 500 watt that's in the center of the tank. And basically I divided the tank into 3 quadrants, you know, and each quadrant has its own heating source. And basically with a tank this size and a body of water this size, what a lot of people don't understand, it takes a while for it to heat up and get to the right temperature, but once it has that right temperature that you want, especially for tropical fish, it stays there for a while. And when I mean a while, the temperature doesn't just fluctuate down quickly. Now with a small tank or small body of water, it's hard to keep heat in that. You know, you can lose water temperature fast. But in a large tank, you're definitely once the heat has come to the desired temperature that you want, it's going to stay there, okay? Another thing, some people call them circulation pumps, wave makers. It's all the same thing. But basically, you have to have circulation within a body of water this large. A fish tank this large and it's not circulating as well, you have dead spots, you don't need that. So, of course, you see in 3 of the quadrants, I have each circulation pumps, one on each side, one in the center as well, and they're double head, so definitely they're pushing a lot of water, circulating a lot of water agitation for more aeration as well. And also, if you see I have the amount of 4 large air stones. And once those air stones are also used for hydroponics. And if you know anything about hydroponics, it's another well-diverse situation with water and plants and all of that. So I definitely use a hydroponic air stones in this tank to keep a lot of aeration going on in this tank. The biggest thing that I would tell anybody, you definitely want to know and understand filtration. As you can see right here, I have canister filters. Yes, it's only 2, but they're the largest canister filters that Philstar, the company Philstar XP actually makes. Both of them, the flow rate of each canister filter is 450 US gallons. So you definitely can add that up, and it's 900 gallons per hour for both together, both filters together. That's a lot of water an hour, you know. So you definitely want to invest in that. Anything you're going to spend money on, you want to spend the money on your filtration, because having a tank this size as well, you're going to have a lot of poop, a lot of food, wasted food, all of that. So you definitely want to have your filtration right. Another thing, air pump. I've had many air pumps through the years. This one I definitely knew I had to up my game on that as well. So I got a hydroponic air pump, which has a heavier flow rate. It has a lot of, as you can see, outlets that at the same current, at the same air pressure, pumps out a lot of air. So definitely on that, I had to invest in a larger air pump. And the thing that I know I had to do as well is invest into a full backup system electrically. So if any of this equipment fails, I will have an electric backup, which goes into a battery startup backup if the electricity failed throughout the house. Okay. And of course, up top, I did not invest in glass lids. I went to Lowe's or any hardware store you can get. It's called polycarbonate material used for sheds, and I basically just cut out the sections in the front for the front openings of, or the top openings of the fish tank itself. Hey, it doesn't take away from the fish tank. The whole sheet of polycarbonate sheet costs anywhere from like $25 to $30. So I didn't spend any money there on glass tops. And of course, you see it looks nice, it looks presentable. And of course, your lighting. You definitely have to have lighting, LED lighting on throughout the tank, of course. And I forgot the actual price of each LED light or hood, but it wasn't expensive at all. I went on eBay and I actually purchased all the LED lights on eBay. And last but not least is the actual decorations. For me, once again, I use pool filter sand. I wash it a lot, but it's cheap. It's like $5 for like 40 pounds or something, but definitely it will cover the whole bases of your tank with no problem. And wash it, just wash it good. Make sure that you get all the sand, you know, the debris and dirt out of it. But once you clean it, it's perfectly safe for the fish, no problem. And of course, any decorations that you have is going to be ×2, ×3 to basically outfit your whole tank's size. And that's up to you. Be creative in what you want to do. I'm a natural dude. I love natural rock, natural driftwood, things like that. Of course, the plants are plastic, but you know, I don't want to get into that chemistry of real live plants. That's a whole nother video and a whole nother topic. But as you can see, I pretty much throughout the tank have the tank, and like I say, not full because I need my fish to actually swim around in. But as you can see, it's not heavily decorated with plants because I definitely want to see my fish. So another thing is in anything that you do for your tank, you definitely, a tank this size, I would suggest, once again, Amazon.com. to anything that you use as far as dechlorinator. I use this stuff, Prime, been using it for years. Seacam, hey, love them guys. They actually have great products. Hey, if you have a product that you've been using and you feel like that's the best product for you, well, hey, use it. But I'm a Seacam and API guy. As you can see right here, I have the actual aquarium salt, which actually says pond salt, but it's the same thing, and it's in bulk size, of course. And then I have my master freshwater kit, which I advise any Aquarius or hobbyist to invest in. Do not play around all the time with those strips. The actual testing strips, they're good, but at the same time, the master kit actually gives you a more accurate reading of your water. And once again, as a hobbyist and a person that just truly loves the hobby and fish, it's me going over and giving you real knowledge of how to run a tank this large or this size setup. And once again, you do not just want to go into a tank this size without completely going over your equipment, checking once, checking twice, checking 3 times, making sure all the things that come into play when having a large tank actually comes into play, and you can actually run this tank once you get it set up. You never want to have a tank this size and forget some equipment or something that you just didn't have, and the tank can't run. It's just not working, or something fails on the tank or something like that. You want to have everything. It took me pretty much, I would say, 2 years to think of everything. It might seem like a simple setup, but it's a simple setup because I'm not a big guy. Once again, a big guy on brand names and all of that. My thing is, if it runs and it's durable and it's dependable, I'm definitely going with the product. So once again, if you have any questions, I'm open-minded, bad, good, ugly, whatever. Just make your comments down below. I love to hear from anybody, fish hobbyists out there around the world, what they think. And the next vid, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but maybe I'll get into some of the fish species that I have in here in detail. Once again, my first video, Big Fish Tank Dreams. Once again, I can kind of explain the whole idea of fish and some of the species that's in here. But for now, I just want to give you the basic knowledge of the equipment and some of the things you needed to have definitely in completing a setup like this. All right, so good night to you, good day to you, wherever you're at in the world. And once again, peace out, many blessings to you. I'm out.